The first small business online marketing myth is that you have to advertise. Now, I am no stranger to advertising online. It's incredibly effective, especially for small businesses. But you don't need to advertise to get clients, to get sales. The reason is people still do a lot of searching on Google looking for information. So if you can get in the habit of providing great quality content, information type content, you can attract people to your website. I've built several websites to several hundred, even thousand plus visitors a day just by providing really quality content. And when you get that kind of traffic coming in, it's really easy to monetize it afterward. I'm sure you can imagine. Even if you're a local business, providing really quality content and making a few tweaks to your website so Google understands that you're a local business and where you're located, you can still reach that kind of audience. And again, it's all about writing really quality content and driving those kind of people to your website. So once you've provided that quality information, you can then capture emails or just provide links to your product services and do things that way. But you have to meet them halfway and provide really quality content up front. And that doing something like that does not require any advertising. Again, you can use advertising to reach out people more directly, but if you are low on budget and you just really want to drive a lot of people to your website so you can sell products and services, you don't necessarily have to do paid advertising to accomplish that and reach your goals. The second small business online marketing myth is you don't have enough time. Trust me, everyone is busy. I've worked with so many different clients, and I do not remember one client that said, Ryan, I've got plenty of time to work on this. It just does not happen. You're busy, I'm busy, we're all busy, and we're all working with a small amount of time on our hands to promote our business online. So there are so many different strategies you can use to leverage your time as much as possible. First off, content means so much more than just sitting at a computer, typing, blogging, that sort of thing. It's not just writing content anymore, especially in this day and age. You have video, you've got audio, you've got podcasts, you've got Snapchat, you've got Periscope. You've just got so many tools available to you, and that is all considered content. You just have to know your audience and then reach out to them with whatever platform you feel they're using. You can use Facebook, Twitter, social media, all kinds of ways to reach out to people these days. And with some of these tools, it doesn't take up as much time as you think it is. You might actually even be doing things already that you could easily turn into content. For example, if you're doing a presentation somewhere, why not record that and post it on your website? So many people do this. They give presentations all the time, but they don't think to take that one tiny little extra step to get it recorded and post it somewhere. So things like that, and there are more than just that example, but things like that, things that are not going to take any more effort out of your day, and you can produce a lot of content that way. You can transcribe videos. I could go on and on and on, but not having enough time is just not an excuse, because video, for example, 5 or 10 minutes a day of you looking at a computer screen like what I'm doing right now and producing content, that is great content that you could post on YouTube, post on other places, and generate traffic that way. So not having enough time is no excuse when there's so many different platforms, ways to generate content these days. So do not use that excuse ever again that you don't have enough time to produce content, because I know you do, if you have the right tools and the right strategies on how to leverage your time effectively. The third small business online marketing myth is for those of you that say, I'm fine, I learned SEO a few years ago, so I know what I'm doing. Well, SEO is constantly changing. Month to month, there are new strategies, new things you need to understand about what Google's doing and how to act accordingly. So you may or may not have heard of the Panda algorithm, which was several years ago, but that really put the screws on people that were generating really thin content. So if you're just cranking out content that is not high quality, then Google is not going to, you're not going to get much benefit from Google by doing that. Another example is the Penguin algorithm update that Google did. This really put the screws on people that were doing all kinds of excessive link building. So you may or may not know, but the more quality links you have coming to your website, the better your chance of ranking. So people knew this and they really took advantage of it by doing all sorts of manipulative link building practices. But with the Penguin algorithm, Google really put the screws on that and started penalizing websites that were doing that. Now, something a little bit more recent as far as 2016 and beyond goes is Google starting to implement machine learning, so artificial intelligence, into their algorithm, which is something pretty new. And they even went as far as saying it's going to become a pretty significant part of their algorithm. So knowing these kinds of things can help you understand and take action accordingly. So with machine learning and with other things, but it's becoming more and more important that when you write title tags, descriptions tags, those wording that you see on search result pages, you need to make them more clickable. So people used to really just stuff keywords in there trying to rank for such and such terms. But that doesn't do you any good if people aren't actually clicking on them. So you have to be very persuasive in your title tags, in your meta descriptions. That way people are actually clicking your website, because that's part of how Google is using this artificial intelligence and machine learning, is figuring out who's actually clicking on those search results pages. So there's a constant process and learning when it comes to SEO, and things that used to work a few years ago, link building, lots of link building tactics, just no longer work. So you have to prepare yourself and make sure you're focusing on the things that are really important today and in the future. The fourth small business online marketing myth, and man, this is a huge one, is small business owners come to me and they say, Ryan, I'm just not a technical person. I can't figure this stuff out. But whenever I hear this, I just shake my head. And after going through a course or a lecture with them, they say to me, oh, that stuff wasn't nearly as technical as I thought. Technical SEO is not really that technical. There are some aspects that you can do that are really technical, but for most small business owners, you don't need to know anything that's crazy technical. So the first thing is your website. Now, you probably know mobile is huge and it's only going to get bigger. So there's this thing called responsive design, which makes your website friendly in basically any platform. Now, coding a responsive website, yes, that is pretty technical, but you don't need to learn how to do a lot of the stuff, because if you have a platform like WordPress, if you've heard of that, you can do a search for responsive templates and they will do all the work for you. It's already made for you. Or you can spend just a tiny bit of money and purchase a template that's right for your website. So you don't need to know some of this technical stuff right out of the gate if you just know the right places to look. The other thing is auditing. So technical SEO issues and fixes. Again, some things can get a little technical, but the most important things actually are not technical at all. I can go through several hours with this tool called Screaming Frog, where you just plug in your URL, push enter, and it spits back all of this information. And the most technical thing you need to do to take action is be able to sort. I mean, click a button and you can sort things with Screaming Frog. That's about as technical as it gets. I can go through really more advanced stuff with Screaming Frog where you export it into Microsoft Excel. And again, all it is filtering, sorting. That's as technical as it gets. And you can do so many technical SEO things, a full-blown SEO audit, just using Screaming Frog and maybe Microsoft Excel if you want to dive a little bit deeper. So these are 4 myths that I see a lot working with small business owners. Just a quick recap. The first one, paid advertising, that's usually the first thing that they want to jump on, which I can totally understand. You get results immediately, but you don't necessarily have to pay for advertising at all to reach your small business goals. The second one, time as an issue. Everyone wishes they had more time, but you just need to be able to leverage your time as best as you can and understand that content means so much more than sitting around typing at a computer. You don't necessarily have to type words, blog every day, that sort of stuff if you want to get results. There's so many different platforms out there. The third one, is I'm fine. I know everything about SEO, or I learned a little bit back in the day. Well, there's so much more and it's always changing. Google's always changing things up and you have to constantly be up to date on this stuff. So you're leveraging your time as best as possible. And the fourth one is technical. Everyone, a majority of small business owners come to me and they say this stuff is too technical. It's way over my head. That's what they say initially until they take one of my courses or I give them a walkthrough, and then they realize that this stuff is not as technical as they perceive it to be. So you don't have to be technical at all. You just have to provide great content, provide value to users, and reach out to your customers that way by providing excellent content. And again, there's so many different ways to go about doing that. But these are the 4 myths that I see many small business owners tell me whenever they're trying to learn how to promote their business online. Now, there should be a link below. I've got an additional resource and it's completely free. It's 5 mistakes, very common, that I see all small business owners do. So be sure to click that to learn more and sign up below and continue learning these very common mistakes that almost all small business owners make.